The Money Buys Happiness merch is live right now on mbhtv.com. Brand new release. We got the shirts, we got the shorts, and we got the speed shades, baby. Interchangeable lenses, blue, red. We're going fast.
With every piece of merch purchased, you are entered in to win $5,000, all right? Buy as many pieces as you want, and you will be entered in to win. When's that ending?
July 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we will announce the winner of the $5,000 cash. mbhtv.com. Pop in, cop some merch, show love for the boys. Let's get into this episode.
The big problem with men is this whole negligence, mental health, and emotions. Being able to express yourself and communicating with someone and finding presence, dude, you just feel so much fucking better.
World's healthiest degenerate, Richie Lovelace, famously known as Daddy Wellness, content creator and helping people optimize their fitness and mental health, but while enjoying those tequila nights.
Have fun on the weekend, bro, but don't be a complete lunatic. Come back during the week and fucking grind your ass off.
The people have that battle with themselves where it's like, yeah, I want to go to the gym, but yeah, I want to have a shot of tequila. The young men right now, this is probably the worst mental state a generation of men have ever been in.
So I quit that job, and my whole family was like, they wanted to fucking kill me. The one thing that Mr. B said that I'll never forget is that making videos online is like building a garden. What matters is that you plant your seeds and you give them time. There's no price on the messages that I receive from certain people telling me they're doing something good for themselves because they saw a video of mine. You know what I mean? That's a fucking blessing.
Welcome back to the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. Guys, merch is live, bro.
Finally.
It's fucking live. I'm going to just start right there. Guys, you buy a piece of merch, you're entered to win $5,000. I mean, how nice is that?
Any piece of merch.
Any piece of merch. So easy.
Buy it all. Buy it all. I mean, if you do the math and you buy like $4,000 worth, you could probably win the $5,000 giveaway.
It's easy.
There's a better chance.
It's easy, man.
Go crazy.
Guys, obviously, you're here. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. You know what to do. Okay? Ernesto? Who's in the
Guys, today we got the world's healthiest degenerate, Daddy Wellness. Cheap. There we go. I was waiting for that. Before we even get into this, we poured ourselves some nice Cafe Bustelo right now.
Yeah.
We're going to cheers
We
to
need
that.
to cheers to that.
If I can reach over.
No, don't worry. We'll do air cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boy. Let's go. And Cafe Bustels, if you're listening to this, and I know you are, give the guy a deal.
Yeah,
He's the only one repping
literally
you guys.
on the internet.
The only one, guys. Come on. Let's get it together. Daddy Wellness, bro. What a pleasure.
It's great to be here.
Dude, I mean, I saw you on the gram a few months back, and I'm like, who is this fucking iconic legend going crazy with a mustache? And I sent it to Anth right away.
Dude,
and I said, I love this guy. I said, this is my kind of energy, you know? I know you haven't really told your story as to how you got started, how you got here today. You're blowing up online. So maybe let's start with a little bit of a backstory, how you got to this point, and anything that you think your audience might not even know about you till this point.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, pretty much all the growth that's taken place has been over the last year. Last year on June 15th, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to start posting content every single day.
Okay.
I had been hearing this like voice in my head for a while that was like, yo, dude, you got to start making content again. Because before that, in 2019 was actually when I started the IG account, Daddy Wellness.
Okay.
I was just like documenting my fitness journey and posting workouts and funny skits and shit and like cracking jokes. And then after 2 months, I stopped and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to college, whatever. Okay. Got to college, started posting finance content. I had a page called OBR Investing, which was another paid community like the one I have now, Dialed University.
Yep. And
built that with 4 friends. We got our TikTok to like 250,000 and actually stepped in a little bit later into the content creation. We had one guy making the videos first, and I was kind of just like overseeing it.
Okay.
Then I stepped in, started making content on OBR for 2 years, like all finance, stocks, how to
really?
invest,
So
options.
trippy. Like,
yeah,
I never thought.
If you watch it, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was super different.
I guess you were just passionate at that point about that?
Yeah, I was passionate about it, and it was also just like I was only one in the group that could like promote our business and shit in college. Okay. And then that whole time I started to like realize, like see like all the potential of just like making videos and shit. And I was always like, dude, I kind of want to go back to just doing my shit, like just the humor, comedy, fitness, jokes. And I kept hearing this voice. And then last year I was like, fuck it, bro, I got a year to graduate. I definitely don't want to go back to corporate finance and investment consulting or any of that shit. So I'm just going to go all in.
Okay.
and see what happens.
So that's when you saw the opportunity that could be your career instead.
Yeah, I more saw of just like, I'm willing to do anything possible to do my own shit.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've always loved entertainment. I've loved humor, and just like the internet is just, I've always consumed content.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, like some of these guys are doing it, like why the fuck can I?
True.
So you went back and said, okay, I'm going to kickstart this daddy wellness page again.
Yeah, so actually there's one piece of the puzzle that's missing here. Last summer, before I went into my final semester, I teamed up with one of my friends in school and a professor of mine to launch this like AI fitness app, because I was like, oh, this ChatGPT shit's so dope. Like, let's see if we can integrate with a tech guy, see if we can build like a fitness app.
Okay.
And I had 2 plans. I was like, I'm gonna build this app and then try and get back on social media to help scale that business. If that doesn't work, I'm just gonna keep running with social media.
Okay.
The app failed after we built the web app. I paid a developer in Italy, and it was just freelance developer. It just wasn't executed properly.
Okay.
Sure.
And then the content started picking up as I was doing that, and I realized, I was like, bro, like, I don't want to make content to promote a product or a service. I want to make content because I love this shit. True. And it's so much fun. You know what I mean? And like, I genuinely deep inside love making videos.
You can tell though. You can tell.
So for anybody that doesn't know you, let's say, how would you explain your content? And when you started to pick it back up, like the Daddy Wellness page, has it been the same ever since?
Dude, when someone asks me how do I explain my content, it's really just it's just me, really, in a way. You know what I mean? Everything I'm passionate about. You see the humor, you see some of the fitness, nutrition shit, which I'm really passionate about. You also see me, packing zins and drinking tequila, which I fucking love as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's just me, it's really just me having fun, a mixture of the things that I like.
I think it's like you're just showing your day to day and what's happening, or moments in your day, which I think people appreciate that a lot, and that's when they relate most to you. When you're not saying like, hey, buy this or join this, you're just showing who you are.
Exactly.
Right.
So when you kick it off, what are you at follower wise?
Yeah. So when I started,
like, so when you pick it back up, so you say, okay, I'm going to start this Daddy Wellness page again.
Yeah.
What are you at follower wise? Because I want to compare that to where
I was
you're
at
now.
3,000 last June.
Wow.
Yeah. But the thing is that from most people's eyes, they're like, okay, this guy appeared last year, and it's been 1 year, and you've gone through the roof. I spent 2 years making finance content, getting 20 views, 30 views on TikToks, posting 10 times a day, watching hours and thousands of hours of Mr. Beast, like trying to understand how do you create a good discussion when you make videos? That's the way I view content creation. Every video is a discussion. You know what I mean? How can if I have an idea and then I want to record it, how can I transmit this message or joke in a way where someone can understand it quickly, and then we can talk about it?
True.
And so that's kind of the way my creative flow goes. It's really on the spot. And then I just think to myself, okay, how can we make this so a lot of people can talk about it and we can have a discussion from it?
True. And I guess at that point, so let's say you re-kick it off with the new type of content, the one you're more passionate about, 3,000 followers. Is there anyone out there at that point that you're kind of looking at and saying, I like the way this person is doing their content, I can kind of mimic this maybe, or, not completely copy, but take things from certain people? I know you mentioned Mr. Beast as well.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Beast, just generally from I don't believe that content creation is luck by any means. It's fully a formula, there's a science to it, there's luck involved in it, but it's a game of volume and just trying different things out. Okay. And I really didn't have one inspiration for content, but there's always been a couple guys that I'm just like one guy named Sush, who was who was really consistent, and we're good friends now in 2021 and stuff. Sam Sulik, even though I'm not into bodybuilding and shit, but I just like the aspect of just so real.
Yeah.
There's a guy right now, Will Mahoney, who's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I just love the way he goes about shit. But I didn't find out about him till much later on. So not really one person, but yeah, I've always just loved everything about social media.
And then in terms of the content, I want people to understand how it started picking up. So at that point, did you say every single day, multiple pieces a day? What was the game plan when you said, okay, 3,000 followers, I'm building this shit? What exactly went through your mind, and how did you execute it?
Yeah, so I literally recorded myself. There's a video of me on June 15th. I'm making bacon and eggs, and I'm like, I'm gonna post every single day. I don't care what happens until this shit works. And I've been documenting it behind the scenes the whole time. And I told myself I'm gonna post every single day.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna see what happens. And I actually started posting on Instagram in August. I started with TikTok.
Okay.
Because you know how Instagram, TikTok, it's all my family, all my friends, and in the beginning, bro, of anyone who makes content, it sucks. You know what I mean? I was aware of it. I was like, dude, I'm gonna find my flow. So I started on TikTok, and from June, July, August, I posted every single day, once a day, 2 times a day, maybe sometimes 5 times a day. My brother was telling me, dude, you're a lunatic. What are you doing posting this much? I'm like, bro, I'm just having fun. You know what I mean? I'm a senior. I'm fucking, gonna see what happens. And once I hit 100K on TikTok, I was like, all right, dude, fuck this. I'm gonna, like, what am I doing? The hard part here is making the content. If you make the content, post it everywhere.
Yeah. Facts.
And so then I just started posting all my videos from TikTok on Instagram at once. And something weird actually happened, which I called it like the ripple effect. So because I started posting all my TikToks more consecutively on Instagram, there was more virality occurring at the same time. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So instead of posting 3 months of content over 3 months, I posted 3 months of content in 1 month.
Okay.
Yes. So out of nowhere, my Instagram just starts ripping. And I'm like, wow. All right, I'm gonna post more.
There's so much.
Yeah, so you feel that, bro. You know, when you have a podcast go viral or something, you're like, wow, bro. You know
and that content, I guess, like you didn't have a recipe at that point. You were just volume based. Because we talk about this all the time too, right? Like we believe that, if you keep going, if you pump that 100 pieces of content in a month, you're gonna know something, whether it worked or not. So were you trying to kind of keep a piece of the content consistent every time? Was there something that people would be like, oh shit, okay, it's Daddy Wellness again? Was there like a hook or anything you were using?
With hooks, I always explored, like in the beginning, I was like doing more hooks and call to actions and kind of just like really trying to grab that, initial attention from the audience and stuff. But from what I learned making finance content was that, I knew that I love fitness. I love nutrition, the science behind it, how to get healthy. Because growing up, I struggled a lot with that shit. I was overweight. I was bullied. I got in good shape. I really had a big transformation. And so I knew I loved fitness, nutrition. I love fucking being a degenerate, which is kind of an irony. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? This makes no sense. What is a world's healthiest degenerate? And then I also just love humor and just being head ass. And so I was like, all right, these three things probably can go pretty well together. I'm just going to explore with these three and just have fun with it.
True.
And then, some do better than the others. And I just kind of just started going in those three lanes.
Yeah. And to go even back a little bit, let's say when you had those 3,000 followers, okay? Would you say that you were making money in the content game before then? Like, did you make enough money to say like, hey, like, I can do this forever?
Bro, the reality is that I honestly, I always told myself, like, I'm not doing this for the money, genuinely. I've genuinely had this, like, it's a weird voice in my head, bro. It's like,
it's your gut, bro.
I hear this shit in my head that was like, dude, like, I just knew I could do it. And I saw it clearly, like, from everything I had learned and shit. And I was just like, dude, you know what? I'm just going to post and try and make an impact and have fun and inspire others, spread good light. And the money will come if it comes. Yeah. And if it doesn't, fuck it. You know what I mean? True. It is what it is.
And then conversations you're having with, let's say, people around you, because, I mean, at that point, you're thinking, okay, I don't want to go to corporate world. I want to do this. But, you have parents.
Yeah.
What are they thinking at that point? Because a lot of creators go through that, right? They're like, shit, like, I have that voice in my head too that you're talking about, but there's no way my parents are going to let me, or they're not going to understand, or anything like that. So how did you get through that part?
Yeah, so the voice in my head was actually so strong that it was like, it would actually keep me up at night, to the point where, like, as soon as I started posting content, I sat with my parents one day and I was like, I'm going to do this shit. Like, and they looked at me like I'm fucking crazy.
Of course.
Which is fine. And so after about 3 months of starting to get some traction, they're like, okay, yeah, like, it's kind of, it's doing all right. I was working at a growth equity fund in New York from August to December. And once I hit like 5 month mark and my shit really started moving, I was just like I would go to work all day. I would try to record a video while walking to the office. I'd try to record a video while coming back home. Then I get to the gym for 2 hours and I record one video at night. It was like work, content, sleep. Also having fun on the weekends, of course. But there was when I was like, oh shit, like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Then the voice started coming in. It's like, dude, you can't do it all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, pick something. And as much as I learned in that experience, I think it was great. The fulfillment is just it doesn't compare. You know what I mean? There's no price on the messages that I receive from certain people telling me they're doing something good for themselves because they saw a video of mine. You know what I mean? That's a fucking blessing.
Of course.
So I quit that job, and my family, my whole family was like, "You're like," they wanted to fucking kill me. Of course. They were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Dude, I can't. I need to do this." I was on a plane going back from Miami. I was here in Thanksgiving, going back to finish my last 3 weeks. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
In terms of quitting your job, though, I want people to understand, money wise, where you at?
I was making $3K a month
from content.
I was making $3K from content. I was making some money at the job, and I'm very blessed to have parents who support me, always supported me financially. Obviously college, high school, and also extremely supportive with everything I do. But when like such a radical change from like 5 years of college pursuing finance to okay, I'm gonna make videos on the internet. It's obviously, it's just foreign to them, bro. You know what I mean? They don't understand. It's a different world, and now they understand a bit more.
I'm sure. Showing the numbers. But
that's the thing, man. It's like you left corporate and you're only making $3,000.
Yeah, and I still had 1 semester of college as well, though.
Which is crazy. But I think the big piece here is like, dude, that voice you have in your head, I think everybody has to some extent, regardless of whatever the passion may be, whatever it is they want to follow. But then it's always like the security over making that decision that's gonna, fill you with value and purpose. Right? People don't realize that, and they go, oh well, when I start making 10,000, then maybe I'll leave my job and I'll go. But you'll never hit that 10,000 until you leave your job. I think that's the thing that people don't realize, right? Yeah. Or how long would it have taken you, to go from 3 to 10,000 while working another job, while doing other things? Whereas when you said, fuck it, I'm making the jump, I'm sure that 3,000 to 10,000 jump probably came very quickly because now you're just dialed in, you're laser focused on one thing. Right? People don't realize that. But I want to ask a question. When you were saying about posting every single day, no matter what you were going to do, and then filming on the way to the office, on the way home, in terms of posting every single day, because I even think about this stuff too, but when I think about posting every day, it's like, were you thinking hard about what you were posting, or were you just fucking posting? Because that's a big piece. Everyone's like, fuck, I got to film the perfect video, and then if I don't film it properly, then I'm not going to put it up. So in my eyes, I believe that there's a part of it where it's like, sometimes the videos just got to be super free flowing and just throw them out there and see what happens. Do you agree with that? Or what was your mindset when you were doing it?
Yeah, I 100% agree that, it depends on the person, right? I think the free flow sometimes is easier for other people to connect because it just shows you're raw. It shows, whatever your raw thoughts are. But I do think to an extent, you have to have an intention. You know what I mean? There has to be a purpose in the video. If you're just, shit posting and talking about something that actually holds no value, then it's probably not going to do as well. So I would always try and, why am I posting this? I always ask myself why. And I mean, it's kind of like an unconscious thing now, but before I would always be like, okay, like I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. And I do think in the beginning, I hate that. I think forcing content is not good. Even though sometimes I think it's important to, telling yourself you're going to post every day might seem like, oh, I need to force myself. But in the reality, I think it's more just like, what do I have to say today in a way, right? As opposed to like just posting.
True. And have you noticed, let's say in the past year or so, because I'm looking at your content and from what I see, I'm like, oh, everything's hitting that this guy's posting. So has there been any content that hasn't hit that you've kind of had to throw in the garbage and say, yo, that's not me or that's not working?
I just don't view it in that way, to be quite honest.
Okay.
The one thing that Mr. B said that I'll never forget is that making videos online is like building a garden.
Okay.
Right? It doesn't matter, what matters is that you plant your seeds and you give them time. Because you never know, like that Bustelo video I made 3 weeks ago or something, they got 5 million views on IG Reels. So many of my other videos, which other people just didn't find appealing at the time, then started watching those and they found them appealing.
True.
So really, no, there's not really a certain type of content where that hasn't worked. I think sometimes the more I try to make high quality or even captions on the screen or lots of cuts, I see that it doesn't do as well. Wow. I really do think we're seeing a shift in the internet right now. Yeah. Ugly is what people want. Yeah. Real is what people want. Yeah. Like you posted a great video the other morning. You said I forgot what you said, but it was great.
Just talking 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, you pulled up your phone and I laughed. I was like, this is fucking great, bro. That's what people want to see. I think we're kind of fatigued of all this fucking
the
hyper
quality,
editing.
The cuts, the thing.
Some people can pull it off still really well, but I
just think it's not relatable.
Yeah,
it's hard to relate to that kind of content, right?
Absolutely.
And even going back to it, like you said, world's healthiest degen, right? I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. I think a lot of people have that battle with themselves where it's like, yeah, I want to go to the gym, but yeah, I want to have a shot of tequila. I want to be that. So I think in terms of that, you're appealing to masses, right? And something else I want to get into is the fitness journey that you had, right? Because I think that also kickstarted a lot of your content too. Right, so talk to us about that because we're all about fitness. Obviously, we're not as jacked as you. We're trying to get there, bro. But talk to us about that and how important that was for not only, I guess, your journey, but your mental state too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, dude, personal health and fitness is the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
When I was growing up and shit, I was in middle school, I was overweight, I was bullied. I was always an outgoing, social extrovert and stuff. Looked, always happy, but deep down I was pretty fucked up at the time. I was just self-conscious, lacked confidence, low self-esteem, and I saw my homies going out, getting with girls and shit, and I was like, bro, what the fuck am I doing, dude? I gotta get it together.
True.
So I started going to the gym, man. I start eating healthier. I start, taking the time to learn about fitness, nutrition, watching videos, start going to the gym, and initially I was just I just want to be huge. I want to be jacked. And that was my first motivation, which was like pretty extrinsic, you know, just get jacked, look big, get girls.
Yep.
As I matured, I began to realize that this whole fitness thing is the whole physical appearance thing is a side effect, bro. What's really happening is up here. You know, I feel like I'm on fucking drugs. Like, I am so focused. I feel so good. And that's why I kept training. And so after I went through that like phase of first transformation in middle school, high school, I was like, bro, I've never felt better in my life. Like, I'm going to keep learning, keep trying. But during that period, there was also a lot of ups and downs. I partied my ass off in college. I always struggled a bit with being an extremist, super addictive personality. So I would go crank the gym for 3 months, and then I would go on a bender like you couldn't imagine for fucking 2 months. and then I'd come back, and then I'd go back and forth. Yeah. And I started to realize, I was like, bro, like, why do you have such an, there's no reason to have an extremist approach. You know what I mean? The more rules you place on yourself, the more likely you're going to break them. Yeah. So how about you find fucking balance, brother? Yeah. And so, dude, it's been a lifelong journey, but I think over the last 3 years, that's really been my number one focus is, bro, you know, like, have fun on the weekend, bro, but don't be a complete lunatic. Come back during the week and fucking grind your ass off. You know what I mean?
That balance.
Yeah, dude, I think, and it's so hard. It really is so hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's just about trying to be as balanced as possible for as long as possible.
Of course. And even just one thing in terms of, you mentioned like the bullying and stuff like that, right? Something we talk a lot about on the show is like, you know, I think we live in a much softer society nowadays, you know, where you can't really say anything to anyone. You can't really act the way with anyone or stuff like that. Now, I'm a firm believer that, you know, bullying actually helps people at times. There's two paths to take when you get bullied. You could either crawl into a cave and say, okay, I'm the worst person ever. Fuck my life, they're right. Or say, I'm about to prove these motherfuckers wrong, right? So I'm guessing you took that approach. And what are your thoughts on bullying as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a fine line. You know what I mean? I made a video discussing this once, and there's people who've struggled severely from bullying, you know, and stuff that just couldn't, you know, or just weren't able to kind of, you know, shift the perspective to fuck them. I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's tough. But to be honest, for me, it was a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean? My friends would call me a fat fuck, manatee, shamu. Yeah. And like sometimes it was out of love, and then other times it was just like a punch to the stomach, bro. I remember like I got suspended twice from school because I got called fat, and I just started saying some heinous shit to the people. Bro, it would just flip the switch. I'd go crazy, pissing me off so much. And I mean, I think it helped me, you know, become the person I was. You know what I mean? It really made me like, you know, like, dude, you know, dial in a little bit quicker and stuff. Sometimes you do need some harsh truths, you know, to be told to you in order to realize, you know, that you're being kind of an idiot. Yeah,
I think it's facts. I think that also has to do with the people that are around you.
Yeah.
Like, you need people who are just honest with you, bro. And I think a lot of people don't have that. And then you mix in the internet being such a fake place where, like you were saying earlier, now people are looking for that real, raw, authentic. It's so fake, and then you have friends who aren't honest with you, and that's where maybe bullying doesn't always turn out the way you want it to, right? But
even with that fine line that you're talking about, I think that fine line is like, are you bullying someone on something that they can control or not?
Right.
Like,
Fair.
Are you bullying someone who's autistic? They cannot control that. Right. Are you bullying someone maybe that, you know, you think is fat at the moment? Okay, let's see how they act, you know? But again, going back to it, I just think that the younger generations, and as the generations start to come more and more, they're just softer and softer. Like when I was in high school, dude, like anything went. Now, obviously that's another extreme, right? But I think that there was moments for myself as well where, you know, I wanted to prove people wrong based on what they said, and that changed the course of my life too, right? Yeah. So I guess it's just perspective and how it's happened to you, right? But looking at you now, I think that it was a blessing in disguise for you, you know?
I want to ask about the business. I want to get into the business of content. We were talking about earlier, you made that jump. Talk to us. Exactly. I want to understand. You have pull up his fucking numbers for a second, because they're ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll read them out right now.
Let's read these numbers, and then we'll get into it.
So again, he said about a year ago, 3,000 on IG. Yeah. Currently at 650,000 plus. TikTok currently at 675,000 plus. Okay. And YouTube, you're at 17,000, which YouTube is a very hard platform, bro.
Yeah. It's a different animal,
but it's coming.
Whole different beast. But to have that much, like, to be on that many platforms at that scale within 1 year, that kind of growth is insane. So
yeah, you're definitely here now. So you're here at this point. Massive. The growth has been insane. I want people to understand at this size, what does it look like? What's the business? How are you monetizing currently?
So right now, I mean, there's mainly 3 sources of income. There's platforms directly like TikTok, which honestly, I kind of disregard at this point, considering I have the community. But TikTok pays you for views every month, a couple $1,000. And then the community right now, which I have on Skool called Dialed University, is my main source of income, which is doing really well. I think we almost hit 1,000 paying members recently, and we have both a $25 and a $50 a month subscription, which has been amazing. That community is really like where I'm spending the most of my time now, kind of just going 10 times deeper into the things that I talk about on social media. So everything mental health, fitness, you know, kind of, you know, this brainwashing procedure that I went through of just like, you know, affirmations and rewiring your brain and dialing in, living a balanced lifestyle. So that's been absolutely sick. We have people from 44 countries, I think.
Yeah, I'm in there, bro.
It
goes crazy.
Yeah, it's so sick.
I want to talk about that. Let's talk about that community. I want to really understand why you started it, how you started it, and just the whole process there.
Yeah, so I like I said, when I made finance content, I had a community as well. It did super well. You know, I think we hit $1 million in total revenue after 2 years, which as a fucking freshman in college, are you kidding me? Me and my friends couldn't believe it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that happened.
There, huh? I would have dropped out right then and there.
That was a great learning lesson. It kind of went to its natural death, but it was a great learning lesson. And so I was always fascinated with like the month to month, like an MRR business model. It's, you know, consistent income through a service. And the reason I started Dialed University was because I just wanted to, you know, recreate what I did in the finance space, but with my genuine true passion.
Yeah.
And so I began building a free Discord last year in August, always just trying to be in touch with my fans. Like, I think the most important thing is to connect with the people who support you. Yep. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for these people engaging with my content and talking to me, like this, none of this would be real. And so for me, there's nothing feels better than being able to create an environment where I can talk to the people who most support me and we can help each other out. You know what I mean? Even though I'm the one putting the content in there, every day I have another conversation with someone in the community and I'm learning more. Yep. You know, yep. So that community's been awesome. It's a work in progress every single day. Started it on March 8th this year, officially launched it. And I've been doing this kind of like 60-day challenge. So like I did my first 60-day challenge about 2 months ago where everyone used the strategies and, you know, my workout plan, mental health, you know, guidance and nutrition, and competed for a 60-day challenge. It was unbelievable. Yes, and then I flew out 4 people that won it. From Manchester, Cali, Texas, and Amsterdam, dude. And it was honestly the craziest weekend of my life. I couldn't even believe it was real. It was
but
crazy.
You know, building, and we know this too, like building those loyal communities, right? It's very difficult. It's not easy, right? Like we know people and you know people with millions of followers that if they started a community, they wouldn't get that kind of traction in return, right? We know people that have 500,000 followers. If they sold merch, they'd maybe sell a couple pieces because they just don't have that loyal aspect to it. So talk to us about that side of it. I think a lot of creators miss out on that. They're looking for the short term. Oh, I got that many views. Okay, next video. Don't worry about who's commenting or anything like that. So what do you attest the community to, that loyal community? What do you think you've done over the past couple of years to bring that community together?
Absolutely. I think, you know, instead of looking at, you know, how many followers someone has, how many, you know, people who believe you and trust in you and actually like your content do you have following you? Yep. You know, forget the numbers, you know, quality followers, people who actually know you. And so my approach has always been like, I'm going to be me. You know what I mean? This content is me. I'm going to just keep it real always. Yeah. And if people fuck with me, they fuck with me, and then there'll actually be a connection there. Yeah. You know what I mean? I stay up certain nights and I'm answering as many DMs as I can, saying thank you to my followers, talking to them, answering questions, whatever I can do. Yeah. You know, and it gets harder and harder the more followers I've gotten, but I try my best. And so I think keeping it real with the people who support you is the most important thing by far. Yeah. And yeah, just always keeping it real. You know, that's pretty much it.
True. From a business perspective, is this solely you? Do you have any partners with anything you do?
Yeah, so I have one friend of mine who kind of has overseen everything that I've done and helped me put pieces together. Cool. On the business side. I had a sales team as well working with me, helping, you know, make sure everything's flowing from, you know, making sure we, you know, converting leads and emails and all that different stuff. But aside from that, it's pretty much been me on the content side.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because when we look at it and we understand, again, there's so many revenue streams. You have a few of them, but there's even more. And I think what people don't understand is a lot of times creators just want to be creators. They don't also want to do the business side of it. So sometimes it is important to work with people alongside people who can help you elevate, right? Because you're saying you're one man. how much can you humanly do on top of making the content? Because the content is hard to make. It's not easy, right? And so I want people to understand from your perspective that it does take a team sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And for creators to monetize at the highest level, bringing a team on to some extent, to whatever extent that may be, is probably lucrative if you want to hit that next level, right? Do you want to be 100% of $100,000, or would you rather be 10% of 100 million, right? It's kind of the way that we see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think I'm in one of those moments right now where really like I'm trying to delegate, to someone who helped me with like brand partnerships and shit. Like I can't be opening my email every single day. Sure. And just, keeping the mind as present as possible. Mm-hmm. It's actually like, seriously, like, I started going to therapy again 3 weeks ago because I was like, holy shit, dude, like I need to make sure I am present. The brain is fucking feeling, in the moment, because between the videos and the business and things, it's like, it's hard to shut it off sometimes. Sure, and so I think having a good team is so important. Yeah. I honestly don't believe in the whole self-made thing, bro. There's always more pieces to the puzzle.
Well, you can only get so far by yourself.
Right. There's people who do it.
100%, but then they burn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you mentioned therapy as well. Like we were talking about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Talk to us about that experience too. Like why you think it's important, maybe why you even think other people should dive into that.
I think, a big problem with men is like this whole negligence of like mental health and emotions. And I was like that for a long time. My mom's like a yogi, super spiritual and shit. She's Palo Santoing in the house. She's fucking giving me, tons of different stuff. And I was always so like, what the hell's that cringe ass shit? Yeah. What do you mean therapy? You know what I mean? I'm going to just, go drink a tequila or smash the gym.
True.
But the more I realized that, being able to express yourself and communicating with someone and finding presence, dude, you just feel so much fucking better. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think, you shouldn't go to therapy to solve a problem. Like people should just, if everyone went to therapy, the world would be a better place. Yeah. I mean, the word therapy, I just think also has like some negative, not negative, but some like gray, connotation or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I would even say negative, bro.
Yeah, even negative. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're a guy, you go to therapy, you're soft.
Yeah.
No, bro, I'm actually, I think it's tied to, most people think vulnerability is a weakness when it's a strength.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being able to show your true side and your feelings is a huge thing. And I think more men are less able to do that nowadays.
Yeah.
Just because of like what society has deemed and shit. And I don't give a fuck, to be quite honest. I'm trying to stay as fucking happy, positive, good energy.
You can't think about that. You got to just think about yourself at that point. What kind of benefits have you got personally from therapy?
Dude, it's a big fresh air. Just like, sometimes when you're doing so much at once, you don't realize, you just don't realize how good you can feel when you take the time for yourself, really, and talk to someone, whatever it may be. Therapy doesn't have to be talking to someone. I go on walks every single day, and I just, listen to some music, go on a walk, that's therapy. Going to the gym, that's therapy. But I think talking to someone is super great. It really, I talk about presence a lot. I think it's the most important thing. Nowadays, bro, with all this technology and shit, bro, you know what I mean? Computer, phone, sounds, fucking, dude, we're living in the future and shit, and we're becoming less present.
The Matrix.
Yeah, we're like it's happening, like it's crazy.
Yeah, and you probably see a lot too, because your audience, I would say, and I'm gonna assume this is mostly young males, right?
Yeah.
So, what kind of like feedback and questions are you getting from them? Because I think the young men right now, this is probably the worst mental state a generation of men have ever been in, when we have the most around us.
Yeah.
So what kind of, feedback and questions and issues are you noticing with the young men in today's world?
I think, really it's just, I hate the word motivation, but I think it's just like a lack of like discipline and shit between all the distractions and shit. Mm-hmm. I'm the most ADHD motherfucker in the world, and I procrastinate sometimes. But I've also been lucky, to be raised by, my family raised me really well. Like, my dad's always been a fucking entrepreneur, just working his ass off, and that I can't, you can't ignore some of those things that can be a reason as to why I may have a bit more discipline, and some people are struggling with discipline. But really, it's just, I feel like there's just so much going on. I feel like the biggest problem is people aren't present. You know what I mean?
You make a good point. You're saying something about how a lot of times you have to learn how to shut your brain off.
Yeah.
And then you're mentioning the phone, and I think that's a huge issue. Is like, social media makes everyone think they need to be an entrepreneur, first of all, because they're seeing these young guys with the Lambos and they're seeing the watches and the Rolexes and they're seeing the fucking rockets, the 20 out of 10s, and so it's like your brain's never stopping. You wake up, you open your phone, the first thing you see is all of these things. You're like, fuck, I need to be better. Throughout the day, that's all you're seeing. You're going to bed, fuck, I need to be better.
Yeah.
When's the moment when you like relax for a second and go, okay, actually my life isn't that bad. Sure, I can be better here, here, and here, but like, let me look around, see where I'm at. Fuck, I'm in beautiful Miami. I can go for a walk by the water, you know, whatever the person's situation may be. I even find myself doing the same thing. This is why I mention it, just being present and shutting off sometimes, like shutting your brain off, dude.
Yeah.
That's been the hardest fucking thing.
And gratitude on top of that, with that.
Sure, side by side.
That's when people get demoralized, right? These guys, these women and men, they're going online. This guy's got a better car. This guy makes more money. This guy has more views. This guy has more followers. So it's just unless you can be present and have that control in your mind, it'll take over. It'll take over, and you'll be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna ever be like that person or that person like that, right? So
what's your advice for anybody who hasn't gone to therapy, is hearing this and they go, fuck, I want to be more present in my life? What would be your advice for them? What can they do?
Yeah, the number one thing you can do to be more present is to really just start focusing on your personal health. Simply just dude, start fucking eating healthier and see how you feel.
True.
Eat the right foods with intention, dude. Like, it's insane. Like, it's just from nutrition, you feel so much better, bro, when you're eating clean and you're not ordering in every day and you're eating like shit. Go to the gym 3 times a week. Go walk for 30 minutes a day. And I think just how often do you sit there and actually listen to the thoughts in your head? How often do you actually just like pause for a second and you hear and you're listening to the way you feel? And that the ways you can do that is by putting yourself in things that require you to be present. Wake up, make 3 fucking eggs, cut up an avocado, make some fucking bacon, and drink a Bustelo. You know what I mean?
That's a good combo.
Go fucking crush some dumbbells under the bench, bro. I mean, and you can't be distracted when you're lifting or any sort of physical activity, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I'm concerned. My little cousins, bro, they're iPad babies, bro.
Yeah.
And I tell my aunt, I'm like, bro, this is out of control, dude. Like, I see them looking at Roblox and it's like, dude, they're like fucking
They're in it.
on.
They're inside it.
They are so drugged, bro.
I know.
And I'm like, and no, they're playing a ton of sports now though, but I think that's the biggest thing is like, we are the product of this technology shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
And so I even try and share that in my content, even as someone who's creating for the people's consumption.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you're pushing for people to create better habits, right? That's what I've noticed, right? From your content. And speaking of that, you've let go of some habits recently, some weed smoking. You said, and he did the same, by the way. This is why I wanted to bring this up.
It up.
I'm still
Let's go.
smoking weed. I'm not gonna lie. I won't lie to all you out there, okay? I'm still smoking weed. But we have 2 gentlemen here that quit. You quit about 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
And when did you quit?
I quit 2021.
Wow. Okay, so
Nice.
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a
Sorry.
while.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while. It's been a bit longer.
while. No, none since then.
No, I mean, when I say I went from smoking, getting high all day for 4 years. And now, I mean, I'll hit a J here and there. I'm at the beach or we're listening to some music, but I don't buy weed or smoke on my own anymore.
Talk about that change that you made, because we kind of say both sides to it. I believe, listen, I smoke a lot of weed right now. I'm not going to lie to you guys again. So I'm interested when I hear it, right? I hear from him a lot. He was a big smoker for a long time. So yeah, I'm interested to hear like what benefits you got from it, making that lifestyle change, and maybe some advice for someone that's trying to quit weed out there. What advice you'd have for them?
Absolutely. I think the first thing is I stopped smoking weed because it actually like completely like changed my brain chemistry, and I started having paranoia and full on panic attacks.
Okay, so how much were you smoking, bro?
I was smoking every day,
Wake and
multiple
bake?
times a day, giving presentations in class, stoned as balls, doing well somehow, all day high.
Okay.
Wake up.
Functional.
Oh yeah, wake up, pen, class, moving.
Oh, the pen is dangerous. 'cause
Lunchtime.
At any point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I was in high school was when the pen really started making its thing, and I was like, oh my God, I love the pen. I'm like, one of my best friends from my whole life, he's much older than me. He lived on the same floor of my building, and he worked at a smoke shop, and he would get paid in pens. And so every week I was like, bro, give me a pen. Give me a pen.
Oh, you were dying.
Yeah, he would just give me the pens, and he'd sell me a
So even before that, what got you into it on that high level?
Dude, I have an addictive personality. I love electronic music, house music. I love feeling something, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? I take nicotine every day. I drink coffee and shit. Drink tequila a ton, and I just love being high.
Okay.
it felt great listening, but wake up stoned, put on my headphones, go to class.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like I was in kind of like my own little world and shit until it started biting me in the ass. But
Talk about that.
It was-
biting you in the ass.
yeah, bro, it just started. At first, I thought it was the weed that was causing me to like have all this paranoia and these panic attacks. But what I realized was that the weed was just slowing me down from aligning my actions with my vision. Right? I always knew I wanted to work my ass off. I love feeling healthy, going to the gym and being in routine, and I was getting way too stoned to do both at the same time.
True.
Yeah.
And so my mind just starts attacking me. I start feeling like shit. Eventually, like I would get scared to walk into the cafeteria of my school, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Like what? That's never been me. I had a party with some of my friends drinking, and I'm just like, bro, I gotta step out. And immediately I was like, okay, dog, this is not it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is going
And this
on?
is not the tequila doing
This is not the tequila. The tequila's keeping me there. But yeah, man. And so I completely stopped. And after a year of stopping, I'd never felt better in my life, to be honest. My productivity was through the roof. My routine was better than ever. I was focused. I wouldn't be leaving my phone. I would leave my phone in the fridge sometimes on accident when I was stoned. I would forget my keys all the time, lose my wallet all the time.
Yeah.
And it was just like the disaster.
What a battle.
I was just like fried as shit. But, you know, it depends on the person, bro.
True.
I was so unbalanced with it.
I don't agree with that.
I would
disagree with that. But go ahead,
let's
finish
hear
it.
it.
I would just say, like, how many people do you, like, how many people, do you know a couple of people who smoke once a week?
No.
I don't either. You know what I mean? Like, if
I mean, I'm like you. I have a very addictive personality. Like, if I'm gonna smoke cigarettes, I'm gonna smoke 2 packs a day. You know, kind of vibe. If I'm gonna smoke weed, I'm gonna smoke 3-4 grams a day. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, we're not smoking once a week.
I've
There's
seen
no
it, by the
point.
way. I've seen it.
He's my, you know, my witness to this, right? Same thing with drinking. For a long time, dude, I was drunk for my whole life. You know, there was 8 years of my life I was drunk. Like, you know, but then what happens now? I said no more drink. I will not drink, right?
you
Like,
don't drink at all?
I can't have a drink.
Okay.
Like, I'm not that guy that's gonna have
No,
one
here
drink.
and there. Don't get me wrong, buddy. We've been to 11. Don't lie to the people.
Oh no, but that's it. I'm not having one drink.
No, 100%. But it's all like prolonged.
And then I
periods.
wake up the next day, I'm like, I can't drink anymore. You know, like I gotta stop. But again, once or twice a year at this point.
No,
where,
but speaking.
Yeah,
I want
go
to
ahead.
speak to. I want to speak to the weed thing. I
Yeah.
made so like he said, it's been about 5 or 6 months that I've completely like I won't touch weed at all.
But talk about how much you
But
smoke.
prior to
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I was grade 9. I smoked like 15 years straight, like every single day, and I did really well for myself within that period of time. But closer to the end, I started realizing, and I think similar to what you were saying, where it's like it was changing who I was. I didn't feel comfortable in rooms where like I would have been the loudest guy, and then all of a sudden I'm there and sometimes I'm not even stoned, and I'm like, I don't feel good here. Like, what do you mean, bro? That's not you. And then I would smoke weed to like battle my like paranoia, and then that'd be more paranoid. after.
Just digging a hole.
You know what I mean? And I started realizing, I'm like, dude, this is wrong. I'm forgetting little things that I shouldn't be forgetting. Like, I'm fucking 28. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? And so I quit, and I made a video maybe like 3-4 months after I had stopped. I just put it on TikTok. I didn't give a shit. I was
You
just
got
being raw.
fucking blasted, man.
And it went pretty viral, a couple 100,000 views, but like tens of thousands of comments. 90% of them people like shitting on me. Like, who the fuck are you to say this, and that? When it comes to weed, I feel like people make it their personality, right? I'm a weed smoker, bro. I'm a stoner, like, da. And then they fall into this idea that that's like who they are. Where it's like, no, that's just you're making like a substance,
You can
your
make
personality.
an excuse for it, but people also make an excuse like, oh, I use it, and I've used this excuse like, oh, it helps me sleep. I'm sure you've said that.
Or it
Like
makes
what?
me,
I can't sleep. Like other than that,
or it
like,
makes me like, oh, I'm more creative. Like I do it
Yeah.
at night to get creative with my business, with this and that. I think it's completely bullshit. You should be able to dial into anything that you want, creativity, the heart, like the dial, the discipline mentality, whatever it is, without a substance. I'm not saying you need to be 100% completely free of everything, but I feel like weed is like, and I'll speak. This is like from Canada, right? It's like it's legal there. If your government's like pushing it on you, maybe take a step back a little bit. I think like it's become so normalized that people are doing it on a day-to-day basis, and that's where it becomes like dangerous in a sense, right? Whether that's like you have no motivation anymore, whether your memory's horrible, you lack like whatever the situation may be. I think people would be better off not smoking weed at all, and that's coming from somebody who did it every single day, and it was part of my personality at one point.
I think
yeah.
it's normal in Canada, right? Like, bro,
No,
like
but it's normal everywhere.
Every other store is a dispensary. Like every
That's
other
insane.
store,
Yeah.
dude. Like every other store.
And I read an article. Daily weed smoking has surpassed daily drinking in America.
For sure.
So it's like, dude, if everyone's walking around fried 24/7, I promise you that's not the world we want to live in. You know what I mean? Again,
It's a slow
you want to have a
world.
drink, you want to do your thing, I'm all for it. But I just feel like weed is also something that it's been marketed in a way now where it's like, dude, you could smoke every day,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In comparison to like, they won't tell you drink every day, but like they'll be like, hey, you can smoke every day. Dude,
Yeah.
it's the wrong direction, in my opinion.
I mean, dude, I think, our identities are shaped by the things we do
Yes.
regularly.
Yeah.
And so
Correct, yeah.
when I was smoking dope every single day, I mean, it was part of my personality. You know what I mean? You looked at me, I was blasted, I was chilling, and I was saying crazy shit. You know what I mean? And I think that, I mean, it got to the point where I was like, I would always tell my friends, like, bro, I'm done. I'm going to quit. Quit. Next day they see me and I'm just like, yeah.
That's like me with darts. I'm like, bro, I'm done. Hey, by the way, wakes up the next day, I'm just outside. He's like, bro, right? But I credit the people out there that can be like, yo, I'll smoke once a month.
Hell yeah.
Like, I think that's the hardest thing
Yeah,
to do.
yeah, facts.
That's
Really
got to
hard.
be the
I agree
hardest
with
thing to do. That kind of balance where it's like, yeah, I can smoke that one day and forget about it the next day. And not be like, oh, I need more weed or
Yeah.
I should smoke again. Or those are the people that have crazy self-control, in my opinion, right?
Absolutely.
Because, dude, I'm like I said, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go to the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna put a zin in my mouth, I'm gonna put 3 in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna get the full effect here, boys, right?
No half sending.
no, definitely no half setting. But even on that, have you ever tried something like mushrooms that, we kind of look at as an opposite of weed, to be honest. Again, not to the extreme.
Yeah, dude, it's actually crazy how many people are doing mushroom chocolates now, like regularly, like microdosing, 0.25, 0.5.
Yeah.
I had some friends doing it yesterday. I didn't
Yeah.
do it. I haven't tried it, to be quite honest.
I think you would like it.
I think I would, and I think I might try it sooner rather than later. I mean, I'm not
It's
into,
like
I don't want
super
like a whole,
eye-opening. It's like one of those where like you become way more present. Like if you like that feeling, you really get that from mushrooms. Like you're really like, bro, I'm on a fucking floating rock in the universe. Like, what does anything? The tree is breathing in front of me right now. Like, what am I? Right. So that's why I was just interested, because I feel like the way that the messaging and the values that you're preaching, it's very similar to those of someone that has taken shrooms.
Yeah, I'm not too intrigued by doing like a full psychedelic trip or anything like that. I think from what I've heard,
Micro.
it can be beneficial, or it can also be fucking terrible.
Well, you gotta be like in the right environment.
Right,
Again,
right.
intention, something
Yeah,
you mentioned
that's what I was
many
gonna say.
times, right? If you're gonna take shrooms and go to 11, and bro, you're gonna trip. You're never doing.
I might have to try that. I'll be
right?
honest.
But if you're with close people that you all make intentions with, and this is something that we've done, right? And we did a hero dose. When was that? 2021. 2020,
Yeah, 2020.
Dude, changed our whole course of our life.
Yeah, facts, yeah.
Like, dude,
That's
I'm
crazy.
not made us realize things, but realize things in a way where it's like, oh, do I need this person in my life? You start to look at things like that. Like, oh, does this person have good intentions towards me? Things like that. So I just wanted to ask you, because I thought that that's something that like you're on the trajectory of, like, and it's, again, I don't look at shrooms as anything bad. I think they've been kind
beneficial.
of they've been marketed in a very bad way. Have you tried Adderall? Because it's like a micro is like an Adderall kind of without the downer.
Yeah,
That's
I've tried Adderall, and I honestly, I'm the biggest Adderall hater in the world.
Oh, Adderall's fucked.
To be quite honest, I think it's one of the drugs that's like ruining the world.
Yeah.
And I can so many people completely disagree with me and shit.
No, take it for like a week straight and let me know how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I did it. I would take Adderall in high school here and there and stuff, exams and. Bro, you were not supposed to feel that fucking dialed in.
No.
I actually, dude, I got an Adderall for one of my SATs that I took in high school, and I was so wired that I failed the SAT.
Of course, because you're thinking too much.
I couldn't flip the page,
Yeah,
bro. I was like, I couldn't flip it.
Or it's like you have short term. You use it.
I got
right?
a 580 on the SAT, bro.
I wish there was a camera for that moment, dude.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like you take it to like memorize a book. And like you'll memorize it for the next 6 hours. After that 6 hours, you forgot everything that happened in your brain. And you're like, and the downer is crazy. So it's like, but what I was trying to say is like micro dosing to me was like an Adderall effect without the crash. So for me, I was like, oh, this is great. Like you're happier, you're maybe more open-minded, and you're remembering things better. So again, I'm not promoting drugs. I don't think mushrooms are drugs. Okay,
I'm promoting drugs.
It's a
If
plant.
mushrooms are drugs, I'm promoting drugs. I want to ask you. We like to ask people from Miami about the dating scene here.
Oh, let's
and
get
their
it.
thoughts on
Let's get it.
So I'll just leave it there. What are your thoughts on the dating scene in Miami?
Hold on, you're single?
Yeah, I'm single.
Okay, there you go.
To be honest, I mean, dude, I'm not a huge dater, to be quite honest.
Okay.
But I mean,
You're just get in, get out kind of vibe?
I mean, honestly, not as. I mean, I haven't been in. I was in Boston for all of college and shit. So
Okay.
you know, I honestly haven't done too much dating in Miami, but I think it's pretty interesting. I mean, there's beautiful women everywhere, from all over the world. Yeah. So I think there's tons of opportunity to meet someone dope. You just got to go to the right places. I don't know if there's too many right places. That's the only problem. Because you go to the club and everyone's just, out of, in a different world. But I mean, I think it's great, dude. I mean, we have dating, restaurants, nightlife. Like it's, it's definitely great.
For sure.
You know what I mean, there's a lot of options.
Okay, let's talk about a whole phase.
Yeah, you had a video.
Yeah.
And I actually agree with this. I think everyone needs a whole phase.
I 100% agree.
Talk to us.
I think, bro, it's like, knowing what you like and knowing what you don't like is extremely important. How are you going to be able to know what you like or don't like if you don't have a hoe phase and talk to tons of women and date them and, sleep with them and whatever? I mean, obviously, I'm not talking about like a, diabolical Magic Johnson. like
disease path.
Yeah, bro. But like, step out once a week and go try and, I think it's great for self-development. You know what I mean? And just building confidence and talking to women. So I think the hoe phase is great.
Yeah.
I made
Are you in your hoe phase right now?
Dude, I'm working so much right now.
You're dialed in.
Yeah, I was in a heavy hoe phase in high school, bro, in like early college.
True.
But
I feel like if you one or two hoe phases, like you'll get over it. You're like, okay, I get it now.
They come in phases, I think. Like it's a hoe phase. You never know. You might enter one and then it just depends on how the energy's flowing, bro.
Are you like, when you look around and being your age too, like, are you ever worried about finding a woman that you're gonna be with the kind of like society we're in, where it's like, OnlyFans, porn, this and that? Like, do you ever worry about that?
I don't worry about that, to be honest. I'm very like free flow, organic. I've never been like the type of guy who's like, I'm going out tonight and I need to go home with a chick. You know what I mean? It's never like, obviously there's been times where you say that and stuff like that. Right, come on, let's be real. Of course. But I think, most of the women that I've met and stuff that I've gone along with the most or have had the best chemistry with have just been like an organic type of thing. True. You know what I mean? You're having a drink, you start laughing, you start talking, there's a vibe, and something happens. True. But I don't know.
What if you're catching the vibe and then she's like, but I have OnlyFans?
That'd be pretty bad, to be honest. I'm not a fan of OnlyFans.
You're not dating a girl that has OnlyFans?
Probably not.
Nah.
Dating, no.
No.
I don't know how else to say it. You know what I mean?
Everyone knows what you're saying.
Yeah.
So no OnlyFans girl. And are you a fan of pornography? Because this is something we talk about too, right? Like this is like again,
I saw that face.
The extremes, right? The extremes. Is it becoming too much for young men to the point where, dude, they don't even care about a real life girl anymore? They're just like, I'm just gonna type in Mia Khalifa and have the time of my life.
Yeah, porn is definitely not good for you. I definitely beat my meat once in a while.
Yeah,
well,
you gotta get it out of the system.
You have to, bro.
You got.
I'm 23. I'm smashing the gym.
Yeah.
I'm horned up. I'm
the
working
test is
hard.
going crazy,
bro. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you're every single day, you're waking up and you're beating your meat. It's like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not good.
Yeah.
If you do that shit in the morning, you're cooked. Like, for sure. Like,
True.
It's not good.
It's like smoking a J in the morning. You're just going straight downhill after.
It's a downer.
No,
I think with anything, bro, you can't let things take control over you. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's plain and simple. Obviously, it's not good for you, bro. It's like watching people do that type of shit, the instant gratification, something in your head, just sitting there like a fucking, like.
So how much would they have to pay you to get on OnlyFans?
Bro, I cannot do it.
You can't sell your soul like that.
Hell no.
What, you got the Dialed University, bro.
Dialed University, bro.
No, how much would they have to pay you?
Oh, fuck. Not much. Don't ask me again.
You've done it?
No.
But I mean, like, listen, anyone that's watching that needs a supporting actor, you can call Daddy Wellness.
Some rapid fire or what?
Yeah, let's get into this, bro.
Okay.
We got to get into this right
Let's
now.
do it. We have 7 rapid fire questions for you, okay? Keep it short and sweet.
I'll get her going.
Let's go.
You're born and raised in Florida, yeah? Jealous of you, number 1. Number 2, what are the 3 best things about living in Florida?
Freedom, the beach, and the sun.
Boom.
Okay, 3 worst things about living in Florida.
3 worst things about living in Florida. The rain sometimes get out of control in the summer. I mean, the weather sometimes is a little bit, it can get dirty.
It's crazy.
The swamp ass sometimes can get dirty. I like it, but sometimes it's not fun.
Yeah.
What else? Fucking hey, dude, that's a tough question.
See?
If there's nothing, you can say nothing, bro.
Yeah, honestly, nothing. I would just say sometimes a swamp ass, you know what I mean? That can be a little tough.
No, we're asking because, as a Canadian, right, which I don't even like saying that much anymore, Florida gets shit on all the time. Like we use you in the like Florida in the media to shit on like the US. So we're just trying to make our audience understand that there isn't much bad about Florida, Taxes are great.
Are you asking you the questions or are you asking him?
Sorry. I'm just trying to, I'm putting it in perspective.
No, I'm playing.
Because someone might be like, why are you asking what's the worst about Florida, right?
We
There's
just love
nothing.
Florida.
I love it.
We just love Florida.
I love Florida.
We knew
That's
you
all we
didn't
have.
have 3 things. We knew it already.
I think it's the best place, to be quite honest.
Facts.
All types of people, bro, here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't get bored, really.
Easily.
True or false, you have made over $1 million in content.
False.
False?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
Okay. Money or fame?
Money.
Boom. Easy.
What keeps you motivated every day?
The game of life, bro. Just solving the puzzle.
Let's go. Okay. Worst thing that's ever happened to you?
I got stuck in El Retiro, the national park in Madrid, high as balls, and had to climb a 12-foot iron gate, stabbed my leg.
Holy
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was one of the scariest nights of my life.
You were
I got
by
arrested.
yourself?
I almost got arrested a day later for doing another stupid thing, just high out of my mind.
Glad you're here with us today.
And then my aunt gave me the ticket for my birthday at 21. Because she
shit.
had to take the ticket for me because I was under 18 in Spain.
God.
Oh my God.
That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. Easily. Done.
Best piece of advice for a content creator?
Post, record, and just be consistent.
Okay.
Volume is the name of the game.
Is volume, that's
Volume
number
is
one?
the name of the game.
Okay. Last question. Blondes or brunettes?
All of them.
I love it. I love it.
We gotta get you to manifest something on the show right now, okay? We do this with some guests. Look into the camera. Manifest something for yourself that you want to see come to life in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years. Because we're gonna run it back.
In the next 3 to 5 years, we are going to show more people in the world how to live a balanced lifestyle, learn to, approach fitness in a way they can enjoy it while also cranking a couple of tequilas on the weekend and keep spreading positivity to as many people in the world.
I love it. And then, of course, we have to end off. We're the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. So I want to know if Daddy Wellness believes money buys happiness.
I don't believe money buys happiness, but money gives you freedom. Nowadays, a water costs you $10 fucking. You're going to need $10 to survive.
Yeah.
So I don't think it buys happiness, but it gives you the ability to have control over the things you want to do, have freedom to explore. It really depends on what your goals are, to be quite honest. But I don't believe it buys happiness.
Okay.
Fair enough,
Done. We're
bro.
changing the name of the podcast. And no.
Guys,
Honestly,
go tap in.
Yeah.
Daddy Wellness.
Yep.
Check out his school community, Dialed University. I'm in it too.
Yep.
All right, we're all in it. Trying to get dialed. Go follow him. You're gonna keep blowing up, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go,
I
baby.
have the feeling.
We're just
Thank
scratching
you.
the surface.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Hell
Thanks
yeah.
for sharing the spro with us.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
And on that note, Jay,